Alright. We are live. Good afternoon, Trinidad and Tobago.
Good evening, Trinidad and Tobago.
Good evening, yes, yes.
When does afternoon end?
I think 3 o'clock.
3 o'clock.
Around there, I believe. I might be wrong. But yes, so we're here, Frontline, and Miss Felicia Holder is here with us.
Co-hosting. We are holding on for Janice Lemon Cricky, the PRO and the host of this, well, the main host of this show. Tonight is actually the last Frontline for the year until we come back in either the first or the second week in January.
Yes.
Yes?
Yeah, so look out for that. So we're going to have a little small vacation, a little 2 weeks off, but definitely we're going to have some reruns out there, and I'm sure we're going to have some other little things popping up here and there to still keep you occupied and to keep you in the know as to exactly what's going on as in closing the year 2018 and starting the new year 2019. And it's going to be a really big year, so definitely look out for that.
Definitely. What we invite you to do at this time is to please share the live, share the link. We are having a lot of difficulties with the notifications on Facebook these days, so we need you all to, as much as possible, help us share the link, make sure it's out there. Danielle, if you're watching this, Kezia, anybody on the ops thread, all of our peppers need some water. Please share the link, because tonight is going to be a very interesting show. We are actually going to have a call-in segment with Kenneth Luke, who is the head of our advisory council. So you would see the name of the video tonight is called Let's Talk Sandals, because we are going to be addressing the sandals issue, the MOU, which is now out in the public space. And
explain the MOU to
it's a memorandum of understanding that the government has signed with the sandal representatives. But Kenneth Luke, who is the real expert here, is going to be giving you all of that information tonight. So he's going to call in a bit. Tony, you need to talk a little bit because I have to share the live link. I know this week you all had a very busy week on radio. How was that?
Yes, that is absolutely fantastic. And Trinidad, you can check us out. I think that we're going to actually have some time changes. I'm not too sure. But we will definitely give you, the information on that as it comes. But as it stands right now, we're actually doing 9 to 10 on 104.5.
104.7.
7. Correct.
Actually, sometimes you get it good on 104.5.
Yeah.
Depending on where in the country you are, 104.5 could actually be
so it is 104.7, and it's 9 to 10 Monday to Thursday. So definitely tune in, Trinidad and Tobago. It's also on the live on social media, so you can also catch us there. So just being in the know, it's about empowering the people, giving them the information that they need in order to make better decisions, and that's the whole deal. You know what I mean? So yeah, check it out.
I have to say though, you and Philip was well on fire this week. Somebody sent a link to me and said, "Tony on fire!" exclamation mark. I think that was the day you and I were on the radio actually.
Yeah.
I think the fire from that video was
it's not so much as fire. It's really the matter of the height of incompetence that we are dealing with in the public sector, and again, these people are quick to talk about who have masters, who have bachelors, who's supposed to be so well groomed and have such vision, and again 56 years later, and show me the vision, show me the development of Trinidad and Tobago in the last 56 years. You have countries like Singapore and Dubai and many other countries around the world getting independence, in some cases not just at the same time as Trinidad, but in some cases after Trinidad, and has developed 10 times more than we have. So the question is when are we actually going to, again, insist on the level of accountability and transparency that is deserved to us, in actually knowing what is happening on the ground with our nation, with the resources, with moving our country forward and bringing betterment to the people. I mean, that's the whole thing in a nutshell right there. And everything else that we're dealing with, it's just basic distractions. We have the media making a big deal over a phone number, and this other minister giving out the prime minister's phone number. Big deal.
It should be a public number to begin with.
It should be a public number.
Tony, okay. So before you get too riled up again, just boiling it back down again. I mean, exactly what you're saying, Tony, though, applies. The distraction. We have a lot of distraction happening around us. We have Sex Island. We have minister's ex-stepdaughter being on out. We have a lot of distraction happening. Yeah. And that's why we have programs like Frontline to remind you about the issues, to remind you about what is taking place. Petrogen has not gone forgotten. AV oil has not been forgotten. And sandals, like we're going to be discussing tonight, certainly is definitely not going to be forgotten, because that one is one that we're fighting, I would say, with and on behalf of our sister island, Tobago. Yeah. Because, I mean, as much as it impacts us as a dual nation, what it is going to have to Tobago is going to be a scary thing, actually, to think about it. Because I compare what Tobago was like and I compare it to what it is now. Mm-hmm. And there is a very stark difference. I've been there within about a 2-3 year period, and it's been different since, you know, the fiasco with the boats and the planes and what Sandals is sounding like they're going to be doing in this country. And I really can't wait to talk more to Kenneth about it, because I want him to explain exactly why. We're not fighting Sandals because we don't believe in the development of the islands and tourism, and we are fighting for what is owed to us as Trinbagonians, what is fair to us as Trinbagonians. And from what we are seeing, the information that's coming out, because we have a lot of people discussing this issue. We have Challenger Birchwood from the Birchwood brothers. Challenger was based in New York. He did a live on this yesterday, and actually I listened to it, and I got so much information in preparation for today and any future discussion on Sandals. We have Afra Raymond, who actually was the person who filed for the Freedom of Information Act application to get insight into what was the actual secret deal, because remember earlier this year the Prime Minister said this was not a deal and they had to reveal to the public until we filed that FOI. So we have a lot of good people fighting the Sandals battle, and they're fighting it hard, but I don't think the general public is really aware of why we are trying to block the Sandals issue. Like I said, it's not about development. And Kenneth, whenever you're ready, you can call in, because we're here waiting on you. You're the man of the hour. And from what you and I discussed earlier, we have a lot to talk about tonight, and I can't wait to get into it. But while we wait for Kenneth to call, like I was saying, what we're trying to do here is just let Trinbagonians understand that we need to be doing things in our best interest. We are the ones who are going to inherit this country.
That's right.
And at the rate we are going, I'm very, very concerned about what we are going to inherit.
Debt. That's what we're going to inherit.
And for me, from the person I grew up as, I think that's Kenneth calling us.
Kenneth. Yes, Kenneth. Hold up. Hello, good night.
Hi, good evening.
Good evening, Kenneth.
Good evening, Kenneth. How are you doing, brother?
Good evening, Trinidad.
Yes,
good evening, Trinidad and Tobago.
Yes,
tell them.
Hear loud and clear.
Tell them. So, Ken, we was talking earlier today, and I know that you have some recommendations, you have some findings, you have some consideration. You've been doing some research on the whole Sandals initiative taking place in Tobago. So we want to give you the platform to be able to really tell Trinidad and Tobago your findings and what your proposal can possibly be as the entire take on the entire thing happening on the ground in our sister isle. So with that said, I'm gonna give it all to you now.
Yeah, I began to look at it when I heard certain government ministers proclaiming that this is not a complicated issue. It serves to develop the country. So I began to look at it from a logical, critical thinking standpoint as to understand what legally is a memorandum of understanding and where does it lead. So basically, a memorandum of understanding is a non-binding agreement. It does not contain legally enforceable promises, while it is an on-ramp to our actual contract. Now, they have seemed to take many steps in this regard. They've started with the Memorandum of Understanding. which is where you lay out your general understanding between the two parties. And the memorandum of understanding calls out two entities. Firstly, in the first case, it calls out the government of Trinidad and Tobago, hereinafter called the government, and it calls and Sandals Resort International 2000 Inc. Incorporated, a company incorporated under the laws of Panama, hereinafter called Sandals. So nowhere in this would occur any resolution effect for the government of Trinidad and Tobago having to resort to the laws of Panama. That's my first area of contention. But the MOU description goes on to say that a memorandum of understanding can also be called a heads of agreement, or HOA, which is where it is further ratified, solidified as the discussions take place. Basically, in this MOU that Shampa Cujo signed on the 10th of October, well, it is dated, the MOU is effective 10th of October 2017.
I was just about to ask that. What year was this MOU signed?
So that's signed off last year?
About a little over a year ago.
Right.
So, I guess in her capacity as the Minister of Tourism, this document was, I guess she was given the assurance that the document was good to go. And it is Sandals Resort International, duly authorized representative in that behalf, a woman called Donnie E. Delva, or a guy called, no, Donna. Sorry, Donna. And a witness. Can't get the witness's name, but this is basically the institution of a document that leads to a contract. Now, as part of what this MOU dictates or puts into place is a sequence of events through what they call a management agreement. So this is the management agreement associated with the operation. Who manages? What are the terms of management? What is expected of the both parties? And then that will later lead to a technical services contract. Now, within a technical services contract, so this is a multi-step process during the negotiation. What comes out is that we have a contract that puts some of these understandings into legal. But what it is I have realized by talking to a particular legal head here, particular senior legal head here, is that in many of these cases, the legal value does not depend on what you call your arrangement, be it an MOU or heads of agreement or HOA. Rather, it depends on the terms and wording of the agreement, of the arrangement, rather. So what we see, we have a document here that says, we intend to do X, Y, and Z. So I began to look around for what does X, Y, and Z represent for the short and long term? And to my surprise, well, I think many people have seen this before. I saw that there was a guy called Antigua's Prime Minister, the Honorable Gaston Brown, addresses the Sandals issue in Parliament, and this goes back to July the 30th, I think, 2017, when he addressed his experience with Sandals. And in his address, he actually referred to it as, I think the page, where I write it down. I have about 7 or 8 pages of notes here.
Expected for a man like you.
He referred to it as retaliation for things that they had found in their arrangement that were not being held to the terms of this agreement. And he called it an act of hostility.
Ah, boy. Hold on.
This is on behalf of the Sandals crew?
This is the Prime Minister of Antigua in a discussion in his parliament, giving vent to the arrangement as it sort of I guess it started to spiral.
Okay.
And there were several things that he alluded to. I would advise anybody listening to this to Google Antigua's Prime Minister, Honorable Gaston Brown, addresses Sanders issue in Parliament. It's a YouTube.
You hear that, Trinidad and Tobago?
Can I just remind me to post that link on the page after so we can have, at least the public can go and check it out, because I want to check it out as well.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
But that's really, really interesting. So it's almost as if Sandals moving as a mafia crew, because they're coming to try to conduct business in your country, and if there's any faults or in mid-flight they are changing certain particulars within the contractual agreement that they have with that said country, and on top of it, if the administration of the country doesn't want to bend towards their will, they are holding basically the country at ransom. That's what you're saying, because it's like you know. Is that, I mean, am I right or am I wrong? Tell me.
Yeah, but that is an experience of one island on the back end. And who knows, and this has been going on, apparently it has been going on for 35 years, them jacking up their take.
Right.
Or not being able to really define clearly, based on the original contract, what was actually happening. But that is on the back end of the agreement. We're on the front end of this thing.
Right.
And I wrote a post recently that says, no doubt the Sanders and Beaches brand will be the economic outlet of Tobago, revising it as a tourist destination, but at what cost?
Right.
Because we begin to see things in this memorandum of understanding that talks about the government intends to build a 520-room family resort and a 300, well, the government and Sanders Beaches and Resorts. Now, they make reference to this capacity that they normally you have about 80%, 520 rooms. And this is another discussions and videos and reporters questioning Minister Stewart and whatnot. And what you have is, you have a 820 room capacity in this particular document. But when I saw the certificate of environmental clearance and it said 950 rooms. So somehow they have found a way to jack up the rooms, but the plant is being superimposed on a very fragile ecosystem.
Correct.
So I want to talk about that, because at what cost?
Well, can
resource impact?
I very much want to talk about that, because we have had a lot of varying information in the public space where we are hearing that they are intending to go and build in no man's land.
Yeah.
But we are hearing also that that is not fact. So would you be able to clarify that for us tonight?
Well, what I have heard right now is they've already been clearing mangrove in the Bonaccord Lagoon.
At present.
Presently, as of right now.
The information I get in from folks in Tobago, and I'm not there, but I'm talking to 4 or 5 real ecology types in Tobago and people on the ground. And I am being told that while the public is clamoring for information, nobody is taking account in the environmental or the environmental impact assessment folks, whoever do that this is a world Ramsar site. And I advise everybody to Google what a Ramsar site is. It's actually a wetland. And it serves as a nursery. And it also serves as a natural barrier between sea and land. And so they have some expertise that they have sort of thrown on the table. That we've done this reciting of mangroves before. My issue is, could you please show it to me? Because without that, asking for a certificate of environmental clearance and also putting a special purpose vehicle in place in terms of a company called Golden Grove Buku Limited, which is referred to in this, and I read what it says. It says, the government intends to develop the land known as the development land. The land, in brackets, referring, and hereinafter they will refer to it as the land in the contract or in this document. As more accurately defined is in section 4 of the Sandals and Beaches Tobago Preliminary Master Planning Study, dated April 2016. And I find it interesting that there's a study apparently in the last presser that they held, it was passed out to all these CHA folks and not to everybody else in the room. It was a pamphlet identifying what that study entails. So when Minister Stewart and the Prime Minister said there's no secrecy about this thing, there's something going on. Because why didn't the preliminary master planning study dated April 2016 not refer specifically to Boko? Is there another plan for Tobago? Are we heading down the path where we will be the Republic of Trinidad and Sandals Limited, Incorporated, however they want to call it? Because this appears to me to be, and I don't have a problem with Sandals themselves, I have a problem with the perspective. Now this document I am holding here, it has a confidentiality clause in it, which means that they didn't intend for this information to fall in the public domain. As of right now, many people have this. And the people that went after Raymond's issue in Tobago, thing in the library in Tobago today, this evening, right? They are ecology types, and they are faced with this thing about Buku. So I go on to say, this Ramsar site, Karani is one, I think the river is one, and Buku is one, of the Bonaccord Lagoon. So my understanding is that somebody moving the mangrove, and when you're reciting mangrove, what you're actually doing is destroying a habitat.
Right.
Well, yeah.
And that habitat called, I think it's called no man's land, or anywhere else in the world, this habitat serves as natural landscape barrier, specifically in a place considered a nursery for crabs, fish, turtles, waterfowl, and mollusks, around, in, and for the Buku area. And then we come to the potential partitioning of an age-old local preserve beach and possibly nylon pool from the public use. Will this have a component that disallows the locals to mingle on the beach? Now the law in Tobago is that all beaches are available to the public.
It's written in Tobago law.
That's a written law?
We are going down a path with this group of people who have proven in other territories that draconian instinct, and I refer to it as Pirates of the Caribbean, Captain Jack Sparrow. Take as much as you can, give nothing back. And this thing, and I only reached point 1. We go on to point 2.
We're still on point 1 right now. But Kenneth, before you move on to point 2, I want to ask something. Where is the EMA and all of this? Because what we just described there seems like the blatant destruction of what should be a protected area, right? Where is this?
Correct.
Right. Well, I have to say that given the history with EMA, especially in the Rebo Savannah, one would expect the modus operandi to continue. Or, if it didn't, one would expect there to be some kind of shenanigans going on. Because how would you apply for a certificate of environmental clearance without having an impact assessment? Or does one application for a CC make them do an environmental impact assessment? No. There was a video that a lady in Tobago who's she's been there for about 20 or 30 years with an ecotourism thing. And she did have in her hand the EIA document. And I called her and asked her for it, and she said she's kind of hesitant because you know how it goes when you become a victim.
Yeah.
So right now, it appears to me, and the person signing that CEC application was an environmentalist in Tobago. So here we go with the same old story again. They pull somebody in, get them to do what they have to do, to move it along. So my issue is, in point 2, and this thing goes deeper because I've been looking at the economics of that organization and what they do in countries and coming and so I just want to cover this one piece here. Parties intend to execute a TSA, a Technical Services Agreement, to ensure that the development of the resorts, 2 resorts, because there are 2, 300-room couples resort, 500-room family resort. And the map that they put with the CEC application is the map. And people start saying, oh no, that's the map, That's the map.
It's the confirmed map.
That's the map of the area that shows that there are going to be two over water in the couples resort, sets of bedrooms, you know, for the horizontal mambo stuff. And then over to the right, they're going to have the family type thing, and that's a 500 room thing. So in doing a little investigation, I'm trying to find out pricing. Now this is where we get, now we're not talking revenue split yet, because this government is very, they have been focused on what I call socializing the debt. While they socialize the debt, the revenue, God knows what they do with that. Because, I don't know, we look at the budget. When they make these kind of deals where you have a build, a finance and build, as the government, they are the owners, and the operator is in effect your tenant. And then the operator calling the shots at what the revenue split is going to be. And I want to talk about one specific clause that's in here that is really looking funny. So to go on to read, it says, the TSA, which is the Trans Technical Services Agreement, to ensure that the development of the resort meets their respective expectations. Fair, right? And which TSA shall include, among other things, the parties' respective roles, performance, timelines, covenants, and respect to quality control procedures and compensation. Right? So that's fine. Then they move on to the next clause. And this is where I think it gets a little hazy. It's like walking into a room where there's a lot of fog. And you could make out people, but you can't know who it is. So it says the government intends to enter into a long-term management agreement with Sandals and on the terms and conditions to be incorporated into a formal management agreement. So this is the sequence of documents I was talking about. Which management agreement shall include, among other things, a right of first refusal to purchase in favor of Sandals. Should the government decide to sell any of their interest in either or both of the resorts, as well as the provisions for an FFE reserve, and which FFE reserve is to be used by Sandals for the purpose of resort maintenance. Now, what the World Hotel Institution say about an FFE reserve is that budgets are generally determined based on the requirements set forth by the operator. And this came out of a document, and the document is entitled FFE, the magic formula for hotel operators, dash, a nightmare for investors. If our country is an investor,
and that's the model we following.
Sorry?
And that is the model so far that this agreement with Sandals looking like it's going to be taken.
Yeah, if we go to the FFE in clause 3, I'm only on the first page at this point, and this thing has these pages.
Still on the first page.
Right up front, they identify that they want a reserve, or they intend a reserve, should the government agree. And I worked some numbers on this. That reserve, and which FFE reserve is to be used by Sandals for the purpose of resort maintenance. So the way this is normally done is that is just that reserve becomes a subtraction from the funding and the dollars that they are supposed to pay the government and the people of Trinidad and Tobago in various taxes and so on. And this was one of the problems with Gaston Brown in Antigua. He had a problem where they were supposed to pay certain taxes and they didn't.
Right.
Or they couldn't find them. They put it out. They didn't seem to be able to find them. And when they kind of finally realized what was going on, what they realized is that they were being shortchanged. And at the same time, when the discussion and the noise came up, apparently they were told that the hotel shutting down for 3 to 5 months. Now, check that kind of control. That operator shut the hotel down for 3 to 5 months.
Meaning they had no revenue for 3
So
right.
What's the revenue split on that kind of thing?
Yeah.
Yeah, but and that's the same. It's the same thing we were saying earlier, Kenneth. Where Sandals almost holding the country at ransom.
Yeah, well, I refer to it as balls in a vice.
Well, Kenneth, I have a very interesting question for you at the end of this, and I already see it. And watching the time, obviously, we're going to have a part 2 to this if we are only on point number 2.
Yeah.
We definitely will have to have a part 2 to this, because the more information that comes out on this agreement, the more it obviously seems more like a bad idea.
Yeah.
But I'll let you continue.
Well, what I am working out on the FSC, so I got into the document, a document called the Magic Formula for Hotel Operators, a Nightmare for Investors. And I have a link here that I can put. It ascribes the reserve for FFE as they work in the hotel industry. And it says, budgets are generally determined based on the requirements set forth by the operator. So right away, they in your country, they in your plant, when I say plant, they in the building that you built and financed and built, and then they call in the shots about what kind of extras they need. And this is besides the tax holidays, which comes later in this document. And this was one of the issues with Gaston Brown. It is, yeah.
By extras, would that include, let's say, an airport?
Mm-hmm. Here what? The airport is now a dime. But the piece from the minister, when minister, what's his name? Minister Silky, what do they call him again? Young. Minister Young.
I was going to say him, but I was waiting for a little bit more clues. Anyway.
Well, my brain a little bit slow because I'm kind of old. But the idea here is that
old but quick on information.
Had an interesting dialogue and discourse that went on YouTube with Miss Judy Canhai after a presser that occurred in Barbados, where them fellas came from Jamaica. Now these are Jamaicans we're talking about, by the way. Oh, and the other thing that gets me real pissed off. The son, Adam Stewart, I believe he's the CEO, he refers to Trinidad and Tobago in a sense when we're talking about airports and facilities and training our people. The Minister Stewart actually said these words. We are expanding Tobago's airport, and Sandals will have its own specific area in such an airport. What does that mean?
I was about to ask that.
So I'm training our guards and training our TSA people, and training to be more hospitable and gentle with the arriving tourists. Now I know them boys up here, and let me tell you, they pack a bag, white powder stuff, and work it into the deal. You arrive, you pay. And I've found out that, this is another thing. Let me finish with what I'm saying here. Basically, they basically partitioning a specific place for the empire to pass.
Well, that's what it seems like, and I something I would like to know, Kenneth. And I mean, if you can touch on it, my curiosity will probably get the better of me. I want to research in what other country that Sandals is set up. They have their own private part of the airport. Is the airport?
Why are we talking about the airport? Let me talk numbers too. Based on the occupancy of 80% on the rooms that they have on the MOU, because the rooms they have on the MOU is 130 more rooms. All of a sudden, between the MOU and the CEC, the thing grew by 130 rooms. Mm-hmm. Right? So if we take just the 820 rooms that's on the MOU, and we begin to do some arithmetic, we find out that on a couple type of situation, there's 2 people in a room, standard occupancy, they have 3 occupancies. They have standard, they have what they call it, club,
right,
and they have butler. Now I just used it in the middle of the road, one called club. So I made some inquiries on pricing. Now, first of all, the FFE estimation of cost, according to the hotel, the people who wrote that document that I referenced, talk it about for per room for 5-star hotels, approximately 30,000 euros to fit, furnish, and equip a room. That's it. 30,000 euros by 1.13 euros to the US dollar is 33,900 US. If I multiply that by today's rate of 6.75, we're talking about conservatively $228,486 to fit, furnish, and equip a room.
Wait, hold on.
Yeah, wrong that off the
One
300. Wrong that off the 300 they can.
Now they're going too far. They say 250.
You really think they're going too far? It's sandals we're talking
Come on,
about.
and
Well,
not
yeah,
just
I
that,
said
Kenneth.
conservatively.
But Kenneth, not just that. This government has been notoriously famous for cost overruns.
Yeah.
So
Well,
that's
let us say, no. That is a reserve so that Sanders can use that fund to ostensibly furnish, fit, and equip rooms, as according to the details I have from the document I provided the reference for, which is the document called The Magic Formula for Hotel Operators and Nightmare for Investors. This data comes from that document because they cite that at a five-star hotel, they actually have a grade above, which goes from 35,000 and up. There's no upper limit. It's like blue sky. You go into the moon. All right, so 30,000 euros breaks down for 820 rooms, a reserve of 187,358,520. So that is just the setup. If you went with 950 rooms, right, that reserve would be equal to 217,061,700. So this is the money they are asking for in clause 3 to set aside. What is a reserve? You put it in the reserve. You put it in under your bed. You hold on to it for X, Y, and Z, but here the kit. These are people that have economies of scale in all their purchases. So everything they're offering us, everything they're offering, is predicated upon their ability to buy on the basis of the expectation for the dollar value, which tells me that if I had a furniture factory somewhere else in the world, I could outfit my 850 rooms for, let me say, half of this money and pocket the rest. That's why I say socializing.
basically.
Because this is effectively our revenue. They're talking about reserving. And then we come to the point where we don't know what's the accountability, where's the transparency, where's the tax holiday they're getting. In Antigua, they started with 10 years and they end up with 55. And that is about twisting the government. Oh, by the way, this document, MOU, cites that their intent is good. Is government proof. If the government change, none of the laws around their perquisites and their benefits can change. That is the setup for the next government in Trinidad.
Brett, you're making me sick,
right,
boy.
yeah, because I have so many questions now. First question, how can an arrangement jump from 10 years to 35 years? We are, and I was saving this for the end, but we are seeing...
Felicia, yeah. I refer to it as balls in a vice. You got the country. Our plan is to give hope and opportunity, elevate economic standards. Their plan is profit-based, and it is based on using our people as a commodity. And also in this MOU, they talk about if we can produce the people of sufficient quality that they're, no doubt Sanders has a reputation, beautiful organizational aspects of their resorts. But at the same time, what is the underlying premise of the operation and the transfer of wealth, because an economic benefit to the country? Now, here we go again. The rumor from the people I have in Tobago are telling me, because as part of this, they intend to use local produce up to some lofty number. Let me say, I think I heard somebody say 80%. Okay, so we have to supply food for 79,400 and something people who want to travel to Tobago every year. or be on a resort somewhere. So I have two questions. We feeding them 79,000. In addition to the population in Tobago, and then where we put in the poop. It tells me that the current earthwork being done by, it seems to be somebody that's associated with the Buku Town Center, some lofty person, wealthy person, 1%, I don't know what it is, but apparently the trucks have been seen moving back and forth in the two Sherburne Road sewer system and Golden Grove, the Golden Grove Road sewer system, tells me that they're planning for the poop. Now, that's the other thing. Now, if you put all of that in the Buku area and multiply capacity by, let's say, 2, because Tobago is about 75,000 people, what they call perking is stuff going into the ground. The runoff, the silting, all of that ends up where? It's in a Ramsar site, a World Heritage Site that is supposedly fragile and to be preserved. So it is a beautiful idea because our nation will be able to boast what you would call a destination, increase the foreign exchange load. But when they do, I actually did a reservation. I did.
I remember you telling me that you called into Sandals to make a reservation.
Right, and at a discounted rate of 65% for certain nights in a club room, approximately $6,000 for the stay, or TT 40,000 for 40, or TT $5,777 per night. Now,
this is how long? This is for 6 nights?
Excuse me?
This is 7 nights.
You hearing that, Trinidad? You hearing that, Tobago?
So realistically, Kenneth, realistically, Sandals is not catering for the average Trinbagonian because 5,000 something TT a night is some people's salary and double and more. So they're not catering for us.
We were talking about investment, and then Minister Young thing with Judy Canhide, he alluded to who are the investors. He clearly said that the investors they are inviting, they sent letters out. I don't know how long ago. I think Judy Canhide thing was sometime at the end of November. But they sent letters to, let's say it right, Guardian, Republic Bank, and Mackey.
I have one quick question for you there, Ken. Was there any guarantee? Now, Trinidad government is going through with a deal with Sandals, and what they are feeding the population is that it's supposed to empower people and put them to work and all this other tralala, right? There's nothing else that was mentioned, what you've been talking about so far, in the public space by the said administration as the PNM, or even the UNC for that matter. And you would think that the UNC should be taking some initiative as in what you've just done, in getting that information to the public space and actually having some type of dialogue and conversation where this whole thing is concerned.
The real opposition to the government of Trinidad and Tobago is the Progressive Empowerment Party.
Yeah.
I want to make that very, 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 very clear. Because these people sit on the other side of the aisle.
Yeah, with no purpose.
It's like hand sitting. I don't know if you ever watch an owl in the daytime. It looks around, it blinks its eyes. It doesn't say who. It doesn't say who.
But
we get them people reading things that they get as a Zeppo, as a button the mark thing in Parliament from the opposition.
Right.
So my answer to your question, Tony, is that in real terms, when the rubber meets the road, we already know that one of those large conglomerates is moving in on the Pensacola group in Tobago.
Right.
Sited right next to the organization. So think of the 80% of food that they intend to buy. Where go past?
Yeah, but you're throwing that number around, right? You're saying 80%. Now the 80% is of what? The profits of what this?
No.
That's the food that they have to buy.
To serve. They intend
Local
to serve.
food.
And that's in writing?
Well, they intend. This is one of the things. It's somewhere in one of these documents.
Yeah, but like I said,
and use local produce.
But
that's the way
But what he's pointing to is that while that is happening, and I'm seeing where he's going with this, because they're saying that they're going to use 80%
they're not
local.
They're not.
But he's just saying that a major grocery conglomerate is right now moving in on penny savers, moving in on a which, I don't know, one of the big groceries, I'm not sure if I have the name right, in Tobago.
Yeah, but this company is a foreign company or a local company?
Local.
A local company.
And I don't think we're at liberty to call the name yet. I don't know the name yet. But they're moving in basically, and it's a 1% company, and if they're buying 80% of the food, they would be providing it. So it's basically left hand to right hand. I'm buying food from you, but hey, I'm buying it from your friend.
That's right. And
our food.
Wait a minute, Ken.
Sufficiency policy across Trinidad and Tobago makes 100%, 180%.
Wait, Ken, hold up. Because if it's a 1% entity that's taking over and is possibly supplying the food supply to this institute, to Sandals, as it stands right now, the 1% entities that is in the food business in Trinidad and Tobago is not creating food here. They're importing that said food.
Correct, Mundo. That's why I tell you,
Ding.
policy. Our food self-sufficiency policy makes perfect sense if we're going to entertain standards. And I don't believe we should push them off. I think standards is a good thing. I also think that if standards is a good thing, play fair, respect us. Don't call us nasty.
Well, that was my number one question that I had for you tonight, because I'm seeing that we started to run out of time. We are hearing all of the wrong things and clearly the worst way to approach forging any deal between a multinational entity and us as the host to this entity. We see all the wrong ways to do that. What would be the ideal kind of partnership? Because I've heard people speak. I've heard Philip speak on it. I've heard Challoner speak on it. And you said something earlier that the Progressive Empowerment Party is the only entity, the only political organization, I will say, that is pushing the issue, and all of the names I call. But I have to give Afro Raymond his props for going hard at this. And because of him, we have the information, and I'm really encouraging more citizens to be that aware, to stick it to out, because all it took was a request to get the information. So you were saying, was I saying?
You were saying.
And I totally lost the chain. Oh yeah, I was asking, what is the best kind of agreement that you think would benefit both us and the Sandals Resort without us being exploited?
An agreement that is truly transparent and accountable to the terms that the government agrees to, and not these draconian things about coming into our country and walk all over our people and treat them like second-class citizens for you're creating a special passageway. This is what Minister Young said. So I had to go by that as back. If you're going to create a special passageway for this class of tourists that paid 5,777 TT per night, right? If my calculations is right, and my head goes, sometimes I make a mistake with numbers, but for 7 nights, US 6,000 translates to a total of $40,440, and if you translate that into 7 nights at TT rate, is $5,777. So now I can't put it. But the fact is, if we want economic development in our country, we must protect our resources. Buku is a fragile area. Okay, it may not, you may get the impact assessment, but after 10 years, your footprint on that land, after you derive 10 years of profit of the government and the people of Trinidad and Tobago, bringing tourists, the glittery part is on page 2, where they say they want to create a national asset of which Trinidad and Tobago will be proud. Now, asset meaning that we building it, and we financing it, and we investing in it. And they did say in Minister Young's thing with Judy Kanhai that they are inviting private equity invitees, and the letters have already gone out. So my point is, stick to this kind of thing. Create a national asset for Trinidad and Tobago will be proud. Become an economic catalyst for sustainable long-term growth. The become a flagship Trinidad and Tobago tourism product, result in an increase in the airlift in Trinidad and Tobago. So they're going to bring more people in. That is this airport they're building, or this airport, the wing of this airport they're building. But in that airport wing is this special, you know, it's like how my boy tried to duck through the back door the last time and get caught by some young guard. Result in an increase in airlift, provide great access to the North American tourist market. They need to solve the crime.
Correct.
Yeah,
and that is
correct.
So that's a concern of mine. We're bringing
all the tourists. Your Trinidad is a dangerous destination.
Because,
exactly,
bro, let me tell you, as far this is my personal take, right? For me personally, I do not believe that we have true need for sandals. I think that if we weren't hemorrhaging our economy and we were able to capture a large portion of the money that was lost and wasted over the years, we were able to, one, finance that project ourselves, two, create our own personal brand of the soil of Trinidad and Tobago and gain all the profits and gains from it directly to ourselves and our people,
without having to bring in
and again, and Philip, but hold on, Philip says a perfect thing all the time where our diplomats are concerned around the world. These are people who are not only supposed to bring foreign investment, but they are also supposed to promote the island.
Yes.
You understand? So if you go in and build and upgrade an airport for a whole new wing, here what's going on, open that wing to the world. You understand?
As the man cutting the grass will say, let me explain something to you. It's like this. If you, in a country where you are being looked at by certain predatory lenders in the World Corruption Index as down in the last trimester, in the last third of that group, and you look for trapping people for their natural resources, who do you creditor your business on? You do to those people who are interested in elevating themselves, either in their political realm or in the public's eye, and you focus your activity on their coercion. Coercion to resolve the profit that they would like to extract from our national resources, and also coercion to drive us into an economic hole so you could now grab the asset. I'm going to tell you, there's something called debt leverage diplomacy. And I understand, just like the Panama Papers, Google Panama Papers, you will understand what I'm talking about. You will see that the Chinese are now doing the same thing.
Yeah.
People talk about Liechtenstein and them kind of places. They're doing it in yen. Because there's a big move afoot to take the standard of the monetary standard away from the U.S. Many countries are forming themselves into I guess it's associations or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, well, China's whole motive is not a military takeover. The global scheme of things, they are going through an economic takeover basically. And they are targeting the developing countries and the ones that are most, the ones that are most corrupt and defected, yeah.
A lot of corrupt countries where it's harder to trace.
This list is so generic.
Can we have 5 minutes, sir?
Bring important benefits to the economy of Trinidad and Tobago. Provide substantial employment opportunities to the people of Tobago. Utilize Trinidadian and Tobago goods, produce and services. Add to the Trinidad and Tobago profile and enhance the tourism marketing prospects. And employ about 1,750 persons based on 820 rooms and an annualized occupancy of approximately 80%. I know I read the occupancy somewhere.
Yeah.
But I am only on phase 2. So if we have to have a next section of this, I will continue.
Yeah.
And I think we definitely have to have a next session. We definitely have to have Chalana on as well. Chalana, I saw you raising some points on...
The date next Thursday is what?
Next Thursday is this is the 13th, 20th. You and Janice make that call.
Kenneth, I would try.
I really enjoy the sandals.
Yeah, no, I think it's really important because of you, Kenneth, and with this vital information you're presenting, we were actually closing off the front line until the second week in January. But I think personally that it's our responsibility to actually have a part 2 to this and do it next Thursday. and bring all the information that you have. In fact, we may even go to an extended show next Thursday, so this way you're able to dispense all the information you have, and bringing awareness to the population of Trinidad and Tobago as to the exact, scenario that we are faced with
what
in Tobago.
What we can do is, seeing as it's going to be an extended show, we can probably have Kenneth on for an hour, and I do want to hear from Chalana as well.
Yeah, of course.
All of the information that we can get right now on this, because like you said, Tony, the public, we're not hearing this. We're just hearing sandals, and we're hearing some people for it, some people against it.
We need factual information.
Are not, let's be honest, nobody's sitting down with that MOU and read it. Same way nobody sat down with that, what was the name of that report from Petrogen? Nobody's going to read that.
They have bright people in Trinidad. I don't understand why it's a one single voice crying in the wilderness all the time. If we could put these things in context of what it serves as a cost-benefit analysis, then they would not be able to continue doing this nonsense they're doing people all the time.
Correct.
Indeed. I just saw Shane say next Thursday is too far for an issue like this. Honestly, I swear I agree with you.
In fact, Ken, we would touch base with you between today and tomorrow and try to confirm a day that we would have as a special show, a special airing of the Frontline as a to be continued to this segment that we're doing here right now. And Trinidad and Tobago, do stay tuned for that. We would announce that within the next 24 to 48 hours, and it would be very, very soon because
Anthony will be in charge of making that announcement.
Alright, well, all I can say at this point is thank you, Frontline.
Thank you.
Can I thank you? You have, again, all the information right now, and this is what I enjoy about this foray into politics, is that you get to really understand not just why, not just that Trinidad is bad, but why it's bad. And
I will tell you one thing. There's even a document that has, I believe, a little more detail in it. It was passed out to THA members only. It was carefully passed out during, and everybody liked
Lyndon Mark, see if you could get a copy of that document first, right?
I've been trying back in.
Lyndon Mark, you want to get on the show, get a copy of that document first, and we will have you read it out on air, but get it to Chalana first. He does some amazing research. Chalana as well. Chalana cannot get it to us because we want to do some more in-depth research on this sandals.
We have to.
Definitely.
We have to.
Kenneth, we are out of time. Again, thank you very, very, very much for being on the show tonight. Tony will be touching base with you to find out when next we can do a follow-up session to this. And, keep sharp on the information, because we definitely need to keep it coming, keep it relevant in the public space. It can't be swept under the carpet. We said the same thing for Petrogen. It is coming, it is coming, it is coming. Yeah.
Anybody who wants to find, anybody on the internet who wants to find the YouTube that the Kanhai did with Minister Stewart, it is called Government to Build.
Can you post it in the Stand Up TNT group? Can you post the links that you mentioned tonight? I will go and approve them after the show.
Okay.
Yeah, post all of them.
In which group?
Stand Up TNT.
Okay.
Yeah?
Alright.
Alright, Ken.
Thank you.
Thanks again. We'll talk soon. Alright, brother. Have a good one. Bye.
Bye.
All right.
We have a minute to go.
Trinidad and Tobago, you got
truly heavy and informative show.
There's a whole load of information, and there's still so much more to come. And like we said before, we're going to try to set something up within the next couple of days to have a part 2 to this and to dispense all the information that Kenneth Luke has, as well as have other panel members that can have their take on the entire ensemble of things. So please stay tuned, and we're here for you, Trinidad and Tobago. Truly, we are.
We're getting the information to you. Before we wrap up, I do want to say to all of my foreign teams, I know Florida, Toronto, and New York are supposed to be having your Christmas events this Saturday, the 15th, on the same day with Pep as well. So I'm looking forward to that, looking forward to the pictures.
I'll try to jump on a plane and see you guys up in New York.
It has been a really, today was the day for us to have these Santa hats.
Serious?
We don't have Santa hats, I apologize. Today, this year, called Level Up 2018, that was the theme of the PP this year. It has been an amazing year. I have been on and off of Frontline. I basically learned to interact with the public and the camera and Frontline, and this show, from where it started and where it is now, I'm very proud to be part of this show, to carry the show tonight for Janice. Janice, you're doing an amazing job. Tony, you are, as always, the most perfect co-host.
Oh, thank you. Making me blush.
And I'm so good at Mama Guy. But it was a really amazing year for the Progressive Empowerment Party, and this is it's not the last show for the year, since we definitely want to do a part 2. But for me, it may be the last show. I can't confirm yet. And I had a really great run, and looking forward to being more guest host period.
Definitely,
slots
you have
come
to
2019.
be. Of course.
And look out for more and bigger and better things from the Progressive Empowerment Party. So thank you for sticking with us and
Yes.
helping us grow this organization.
Most definitely.
Tony, I'll leave you to close.
Well, again, thank you so much for tuning in, and look out and stay tuned. We have part 2 coming at you, hopefully within the next couple of days. Trinidad and Tobago, be safe. We love you. See you next week. Well, in a few days.